Well, hi, it's Jim Allen in Cincinnati, and I came to know him through some of the other people that I've interviewed, like Jody Damon, the Girl Meets You on YouTube,
Hmm.
and seeing his videos that he produces. What was the one you did with there was something with a car and
Chariots of Fire.
that's right.
Well, from the movie anyway. I forget the name of the song, but
That was awesome.
thank you.
I'll need to make sure to get a link to that, and I'll put it down in the description because it was like, that was so funny.
Please do.
And then also, I was inspired by your technology skills too, because I don't have those kind of skills.
Mhm.
So thank you so much for the laugh. Well,
Oh,
I hear you have some superpowers lurking back, some ukulele superpowers, things that you do that maybe other people don't do.
well, if I have ukulele superpowers, I'm unaware of what they are. However, there are some things that I'm passionate about. One is, well, you mentioned, the music videos. I use like GarageBand and acapella, different applications or whatever to spice up my videos. Sometimes I have videos where you hear the music playing in the background, but the videos and pictures that you're seeing might not have anything to do with what you're hearing. Whatever, it kind of tells a separate story. So some people might say that my superpower is the ability to produce some interesting videos, perhaps. Uh, but what I hope people, think of as my superpower would be my other passion, which is playing ukulele in nursing homes. I've been doing it for, I was asking my wife this earlier. I've lost track of time, maybe 5 or 7 years. Um, Somebody else helped me get my foot in the door, and I just love it. I've been doing it for a long time now. I have two different facilities that I go to monthly, and just recently I started uh, a small group of people to do the same thing. It's be an interesting experience because I'm not really used to leading people that way, but it'll be interesting to share that experience with them. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, wow, that just does my heart so much good. That's what would you tell people that were interested in sharing their passion for ukulele like that, as part of making the world a better place?
Yeah, yeah. It's I kind of have a formula that works for me, and it might not work for other people. But I'll tell you what, it's kind of like a recipe. It's 1/3 of it is that you have an interest in people and being with people, talking to people, etc. Another third of it is you're a ham. Yeah, a little bit of a ham to put yourself out there in front of people like that. And the other third of it is some sort of musical abilities. Now, I don't call myself a musician. I don't think I'm particularly gifted, but I have those, 1/3 of those three things or whatever together, and that's my little package, my little formula for doing that, and it works out well for me. And you know what? You know, I don't know. 12 years ago, I would have said, oh, I could never do that. you know? And you'll be surprised if you just, look around for opportunities, and you might, have to push your comfort zone a little bit or whatever. You'll be surprised. I mean, you don't have to have skills up here. It just doesn't have to be, just put yourself out there a little bit and trust yourself, and you'll be surprised how it'll come together and what a great experience it can be. And it's just really good. And not every performance will go necessarily great, but you always have those scenarios where you have those people that will go up to you afterwards and say, you know what, I used to play guitar and I really enjoyed it. And that's when you have that happen. Whatever, it's really it feels good. It's a good experience for you and for them. It works out.
Oh, that's awesome. Very good. Well, that's a good recipe to to be for a formula to be able to apply to that. So, what inspired you to first, take on doing a nursing home?
Um, I had a friend, her name's Ruth, and she was going into a memory care unit, and she was playing her keyboard, and I heard about that, and I, was playing ukulele, and I said, Ruth, can I be in your band? And that's how I got my foot in the door. And it was a really nice scenario where you're almost in somebody's living room, and you're real close to the residents, and it was just a great experience. And I was in the beginning, I was just the quiet guy. I just did my little ukulele and let her lead or whatever. And she was just so good in dealing with. She was gifted that way in connecting with people or whatever. And that's how I got my foot in the door and got started. So.
Okay, well, awesome, very good. So, in addition to that, I hear that you do some wrangling with a larger group of ukulele players, keeping a jam going there in Cincinnati.
Yes, Cincinnati Ukulele Ensemble. I kind of I was just there as a member. I didn't lead it, but I kind of inherited it. It's a small group, which is nice. Sometimes you get groups of 20 or more people, and it becomes a little less intimate because conversations start on the other side, and sometimes you miss out on those conversations. When you get a nice small group of like 8 or 10 people or whatever, you're there in a small circle together, and you get to learn a little bit about other people, et cetera, whatever. And it's a nice, comfortable, small group. But yes.
Okay, so that's very similar to what we have here in Louisville, although I get kind of like a feeling like, oh, I hope we get to like but the Memphis ukulele flash mob.
I I don't I don't think I don't have the I'm not this guy here.
So those of you that don't know, Petey Mack is the I did an interview with him, and he's the one of the driving forces behind the Memphis ukulele flash mob. Oh, perfect. So yeah, and I just saw San Diego is just busting loose. Their place isn't big enough, and then there's a huge one in Dublin too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Small is good. All right. So, I imagine you're probably not a professional ukulele player.
No, I'm
And
not.
so, do you have a Clark Kent persona?
Uh, I work for Ohio's largest healthcare system. I do accounts payable, uh, emails, phone calls, Excel spreadsheets on the computer all day long, and which is great. It's produces a paycheck, which is nice or whatever. But it's also nice to get away from that, and it can be some stress. In fact, right now we're going through a merger, which is kind of stressful, and so it's nice to have the ukulele to fall back on to play and release some of that stress. So.
Okay, very good. And so, why the ukulele?
Why the ukulele? Well, back in 1965, my mama went out for a drive to Kaufman's with Imogene and Betty. The other two came back with clothes that made them pretty, I suppose, but mama came back with an ukulele. That's a little ditty I have. And so when I was a kid, there was always an ukulele in the house, and it was fun to play like on rainy days or when you go camping, etc. But you get to be like 13 years old, whatever, and it was kind of a nerdy thing to do. I kind of forgot about it, and I went on like a 30-year hiatus, and kind of forgot about it. And then just one day, it just dawned on me. It's like, man, that was really fun to play when I was a kid. I should start doing that again. And that was like about, I don't know, 10, 11 years ago, or whatever.
Oh,
I've been going full force now for that length of time now. So.
excellent. Very good. Yeah. And so, I imagine you encounter beginners every once in a while in your group that are coming in. And do you have any, because my expertise is working with absolute beginners. And do you have any tips for absolute beginners?
Um, maybe a few. Pete McCarty's rule number one, you got to have fun. You know, if it's the source of frustration, trying to learn this, maybe it isn't for you. It should be a fun thing. And be kind to yourself. Sometimes you just put too much pressure on yourself to learn so quickly. There's been some viral videos recently of I don't know the little gentleman's name or
Oh,
whatever. That's like
Fengi. Yeah,
it's
it
like
looks
you can
like,
just, well, I'm sorry, what's the name?
I think it's Feng, and then
Ah, yes,
after that, yeah, Fengi.
that
I'm not sure how he says it.
that one. If you are if you're comparing yourself to someone like that and say, my gosh, why do we even bother? Don't compare yourself to other people. Just take your time, practice a lot, and if you have the means to do it, have more than one ukulele. I have one in my locker at work. I have one in my truck, and I have them strewn throughout the house. So play off, have it around you in sight, and play a lot, but don't put a lot of pressure on yourself. I mean, it's not gonna, it's not gonna for this gentleman. I think he's just gifted that way. He's picked it up quickly, and there's the sky's the limit for him. But it's not true for me, and it's not true for most people. Whatever. So have fun if you can. Not everybody is close to clubs. Um, if if you have a club nearby, get involved with them. Get around other people that are playing as well. And if you don't have a club that's nearby, then find some social media groups or whatever to stay connected that way, stay inspired that way. You go back to the concept of being a ukulele superhero. I mean, um, there's small things that you can do. I mean, uh, even if it's subscribing to somebody that's has a YouTube channel,
Like mine.
and
You can subscribe here.
like yourself, uh, you know, to like what they do, just a simple like to what they do. You never know how meaningful it's going to be to leave them a nice a note or comment on their channel. If you Not everybody has the means to, but if you got the means to, then support people like yourself or whatever that have a YouTube channel. Go to ukulele festivals or whatever. Be supportive to Peter Mack and Sherry. Hey, thanks Sherry for the little button. I'll let you got one at B-Cuff there or whatever.
Yeah. So were you at B-Cuff?
I was at B-Cuff.
And I didn't meet you. Doggone.
I'm one of those guys that goes under the radar. I have a gift for doing that.
Well, now next year, and yeah,
so I don't have my ticket yet. I have to do that.
I have to buy mine too. For anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about right now, B-Cuff stands for the Brown County Ukulele Festival, which it's a great festival. It's well run, and the people that come there are awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I have two festivals I go to. B-Cuff I do annually, and Ukulele World Congress I've been going to annually. Both of those for about 3 years now. Whatever. Those are my two main go-tos, summer and winter. So.
Well, now that I have my summers available, who knows what'll happen?
There you go.
Yeah, but if people are enjoying these interview series, I'm going to the Gaithersburg, I think that's how it said, Uke Fest next weekend, and so I'll be doing lots more interviews there. I'm really excited to meet those people. But boy, I'm just going to have to make sure when I see you at B-Cuff next year that you won't be a stranger.
I will be there. We'll see each other.
Okay, perfect. Well, you have a YouTube channel, correct?
I do have a YouTube channel, and to be honest with you, I mean, if you like what I got there and want to subscribe, please do. But at the same time, it's really just a digital place for me to hold my stuff. I don't promote it. I don't. If you want to subscribe, like I said, please do. But I'm not really pushing it. But in the description or whatever comments, I'll give you my YouTube channel, and you're welcome to put it there.
Yeah, and
welcome to check me out.
And I should probably get information for the Cincinnati Ukulele Ensemble. So
Okay.
People in the Cincinnati area are going, oh, really? There's a group here?
Yeah.
They can find it that way. And then also, do you want to share out your Facebook or?
I'm sorry?
Facebook? Do you share your Facebook?
I don't have a specific page. Well, I mean, the Q Facebook page or whatever, and
Okay.
I'm on Facebook, but I don't have other than those two, I don't have anything that I have out there. It's mostly just the YouTube channel. So
Okay, well, Jim, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today, and on a weekend here. And you just did my heart. These so good to hear that you're doing the nursing home um, gig. That means a lot to me personally, and I sure would like to encourage other ukulele players if you think that's something you'd like to do, do it.
it's not as hard as it looks, and it's a win-win.
Yeah, perfect. All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and thank you for helping spread the ukulele love.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right. We'll see you in the next interview.
I hope you found this Ukulele Superheroes interview inspiring. Please consider supporting me on Patreon. I always have a philanthropic endeavor as part of my Patreon efforts. You can see my current goal and maybe consider contributing to that. Thank you so much.